Hello, how you doing? My name is Desmond Harris, and I believe that the United States war on drugs is actually hurting more Americans than it's helping. In 2012, former President Bill Clinton is quoted as saying that the United States spent billions of dollars trying to cut off Colombian cocaine coming into America. Obviously, the expected result, it didn't work. The war on drugs is an American term commonly applied to the campaign of the prohibition of drugs, military aid, and the military intervention, with the stated aim being able to define and reduce the illegal drug trade. The United States has had a long history of drug prohibition dating as far back as 1919. The United States passed the 18th Amendment, which prohibited the sale, manufacturing, and transportation of alcohol for consumption at the national level. It was later repealed in 1933. In 1971, Richard Nixon declared the United States war on drugs. He characterized the abuse of illegal substances as public enemy number one in the United States. But in June of 2011, the Global Commission on Drug Policy released a critical report on the war on drugs, declaring that the global war on drugs has failed, with devastating consequences for individuals and societies around the world. 50 years after the initiation of the UN Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs, and years after President Nixon launched the United States government's war on drugs, fundamental reforms in the national and global drug control policies are urgently needed. Drug policies have also affected the United States judicial system. In 1994, the New England Journal of Medicine reported that the war on drugs have resulted in incarceration of 1 million Americans each year. In 2008, the Washington Post reported that 1.5 Americans are arrested each year for drug offenses. 500,000 would be incarcerated. In addition, 1 in 5 black Americans would spend time behind bars due to drug laws. Actually, believe it or not, statistics actually show that there are racial disparities in arrest, prosecution, sentencing, and deaths. African American drug users actually make up 35% of arrests, 55% of convictions, and 74% of people sent to prison of drug possession crimes. Nationwide, African Americans were sent to state prisons for drug offenses 13 times more often than other races. Even though supposedly they're comprised of 13% of the drug users in America. The also cost to taxpayers is very high. According to the 2008 study, the budgetary impact of ending drug prohibition, published by Jeffrey A. Myron, the annual savings on enforcement and incarceration costs for the legalization of drugs would amount to roughly $41.3 billion, with $25.7 billion saved among the states and $15.6 billion saved among the federal government. In conclusion, many adults safely use drugs. Alcohol and tobacco are legal, of course. The problem isn't drugs, it's addiction, and its cost to society. If you want to pay fewer taxes, drop the war on drugs. We know it didn't work. It's obviously hurting the American taxpayer and the average citizen because people go to jail for harmless crimes. It's time to try something else. This has been Desmond Harris. Thank you.